It ain't easy being a man these days. Hard to even say for sure what a man is. A provider, a lover, maybe even a hero. One thing's for sure. A journey towards being whatever a real man should be doesn't need to be done alone. The Gentlementor are here to help you navigate that, so you never have to go alone.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Gentlementor. We're glad that you're here, and we're here again this week with my friend the Debonair Doug.
Ooh.
And yeah, he gets a new name every week. He gets a new name. That's the thing. Since I get to do the introduction, I get to name him this week.
Love it.
And we're joined by our good friend Zach, who is hanging out here with us tonight. And I hope you enjoyed us, or you joined us last week, because we were talking about change and stuff and how to change things in yourself and kind of shake it up. And you should go back and check that out. But Zach mentioned something about, even if you want to change yourself, you at least have to have some kind of a vision for your life. Meaning, and a lot of us probably do have a rudimentary vision. I want to be a good dad, if you're a dad, and maybe that's a place to start too. Your vision is going to change, I guess, as you grow, because different things become more important. But
perspective changes.
Ooh, there we go back to that word again. Hey, which you can't have perspective, and I'm thinking in a visual sense, without actually being able to see. So, but on a visual sense, yeah. So they're tied together. So anyway, go Zach.
Go Zach.
Yeah. No, I think to kind of iterate the question is can you even change without having a vision, or how important is vision casting in this game of changing and becoming a new person, or becoming ultimately who you want to be?
I got a story.
I love it.
Okay. And then
Once upon a time,
me and a really good friend of mine used to youth pastor together in northern Missouri. And we had this kid came in one time, and he was didn't care about his appearance. He didn't really care. I mean, any smell would mess with it. It didn't hair, hit boogers, dried on his lip, whatever. He just didn't care. One day he walks in. 1 week he walks into church, completely different. Showered, probably used soap, hair combed, shirt tucked in. He changed his appearance, and probably, I know he changed his mannerisms because I was able to see it. Lo and behold, he had a vision. You know what the vision was?
A girl.
Yes.
them are powerful motivators.
That was what he saw, and that's what made his change.
Lots of them motivated me to try. None of them ever got real change out of me. But I will say, in this Imagineering thing, I think before you can begin to have a vision, you've got to decide if you can take responsibility.
Absolutely.
You won't even try to
what
have
about
a vision for your life if you don't
life?
feel responsible for it. What's that? I'm sorry.
What if it was reversed for this teenage kid? What if he saw a vision and went, I want that so bad, I'm going to have to take responsibility for this?
Could be.
I could see both sides. However, what I think might be more plausible is it's a both and. The vision and the responsibility happened at the same time.
There you go.
Mostly because, hey, I see a girl. Here's what I need to do. I'm going to take responsibility. It probably, the thought in my mind says it probably happened at the same time.
Perfect.
But I love your thought about the accountability or responsibility you're taking. Because if you can say, I want to be, I want to dress better so that I attract females. But if you never say, I am accountable for it, none of that matters. Or check this out. The opposite is true. If you say, I'm going to take full accountability that I'm not attractive to females, but I'm not going to do anything about it. So it is a both and in that scenario. You have to cast the vision and accept responsibility. Yeah. I don't know. That's wild.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight. We're so glad that you're now.
I can accept it either way. Like I said,
to take it to a whole nother level.
Woo. My premise was based on my own experience, which was, like I said, it wasn't until I felt like I was responsible that I felt like I better get a plan together to get something done. Until that, it was, well,
Yeah.
it had been my young life of like rock and roll wannabe, and then my Christian life really just allowed me to kind of push that onto Jesus and go, well, if Jesus wants me to have this, I'll have it. And I still believe that to a large extent, but I also realize now, like I said, there's stuff I'm responsible for. So anyway, didn't mean to take over again. Bing.
No, I love it. Where there's no, yeah. Go ahead.
No, well, I was just gonna say, I'm going through this journal. The further and further I get from these things that I mentioned last week, we talked about shaking it up, and I wrote a few things down. At the very beginning of this journal was the list of the 3 things that I wanted to accomplish by 2023, which I accomplished 2 of the 3. But the further I get in this journal, I realize I was not in a good place. I was getting further and further away from being healthy. Here's the thing, and I realized after reading this, I didn't know what I wanted. In fact, I didn't know what I wanted or what I should do, but I wanted so badly to want something. The only passion that I had was to have passion about something. All I had passion for was passion. And I couldn't figure it out. And this was the journal that you wrote in, Doug. I remember I was talking to you. You were sitting across the table one time, and I was talking to you, and you came everything close to reaching over and grabbing my collar, I think, and pimp slapping me 3 or 4 times, like, stop thinking.
That was the first podcast. It just didn't get casted.
It just didn't get casted.
Well, we recorded that conversation.
Yes, it is. And I have a feeling I probably deleted it on purpose. This was that journal that you wrote in. And I was in that place, Zach, where I was just like, I don't even know what I want. How can I have a vision? How can anybody have a vision for what they want when all they really do is just want to want something? Does that make sense? When I say want to want something, I don't know. That sounds.
I want you to want me. Or something.
Yeah. And I think, and here's what I'm not looking for you to answer. I'm just giving this explanation. And I think after going back over this cycle over and over again, I went back again to what is it that I can do to change something, or what is it I can do to shake things up, or strike that flint and see what happens. That's what I wanted. So that's what sparked. Hey, I'm going to quit my full-time job. I'm going to do this. Now, let's not forget about all the slew of circumstances that happened all at the same time that I didn't have any control over. I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe that cycle just got me back around, and thankfully I journaled this stuff. That's what I find amazing, because I don't know if I would be. Doug remembers everything. I don't, and I just don't know if I would. I would come back around to a healthy place.
Luckily, these 50s are taking a lot of it out of me, so probably only for a few more years.
Anyway, I just feel like there's a lot there. Sometimes there could be people out there who are just like, I don't even know what I want for myself.
Man, when you're in a depressed place, when you're in any kind of bleak situation, you could be mourning for a loved one. You come through those territories like that, where you just don't feel like you want anything. I know I don't want to feel like this anymore. That's usually the big flag flying over my head, is I don't care what it is, but I'm tired of feeling like this.
That's exactly right.
That will generally push me to a place where I will do something stupid. Usually, the old guy that I used to be would have chosen something very destructive. Now I got to figure out what to do with that energy. So take it down to the karaoke bar, I guess. But it's trying to. You were saying a minute ago about thinking about the way you're thinking, and we've talked a lot about this. Yes. Trying to overcome the negative mindset and having to outthink yourself. How the struggle between your higher self and your ego. You're trying to outthink yourself. This is your worst enemy, and he knows every dark secret about you. And he will not hesitate to pull it out and stick it in if he thinks he can get you. And it's like, oh, that's who I'm up against. I don't just have bad thoughts once in a while. There's a serial killer in here, and I'm the only name on his list. And it doesn't matter how many times he kills me, he wants to do it again. And it's like, okay, now outthink it. Get ahead of it. It's like, how? that was the most like throw your hands up frustrating moment in the world, because it's like, how do you get behind that? How do you get underneath that? Down to the root of that, because it's always got you like you're always back on your heels trying to defend yourself. So like I can understand people feeling that way, man, but it's like, to me, like I said, it begs that striking of the flint thing. It's almost, here's what I would equate it to. Before there was a word for it, I was what they called, when we were older, cutters. Like they didn't have a cool name for it when I did it. It was just like, he's crazy. That's what they called it when I did it. But it was an attempt to deal with emotional pain. I had emotional pain at a level I could not sustain. I had to do something, or I felt like I had to do something. And in my stupid juvenile mind, destructive was what was immediately flashed up on the screen. And that was always the way I went. And when you spend a lifetime always going that way, that's where you wear the rut in the road. And all the water flows that way. You don't even have to try anymore. Like, to stave that off and turn it back the other way is a major undertaking. Like, that loss of sense of I don't even know what I want anymore. I just want to feel something different.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I'm all for doing a desperate act, but do it in a productive way, not a destructive way.
Right.
There are things you can do that can build you up. You could take this moment and shine, or you can take this moment and destroy yourself. And so many people I know will choose that destructive stuff every time. Whether it's because they don't trust themselves or they don't love themselves, I don't know. I don't have that diagnosis list yet, but it concerns me how readily people will throw themselves off the cliff. Now you guys should say some words.
I'm looking for a bunch of them right here.
Okay. I feel like I'm just babbling again.
That's good.
What are some, okay, so what are some ways we could, some practical ways we could strike the flint? What are some just practical things we can do? I like the idea of, switching it up, do something unscripted, like you said, Doug. Just jumping out and doing something, I don't know, even as simple as, taking a dance class with your wife, even though you can't dance a lick. Whatever. Just take it. What are some other practical things that we can do just to implement if we're like, okay, if someone's out there and they're like, I'm in a place where I just need to strike the flint and see what happens.
I had a mentor once that told me about a way that he would kind of shift things around and shake that up to shake up his mind, and it probably fits right in here. So he would change the space, meaning changing his headspace. He would change the place, meaning where he was, and he would change the pace of his. So basically just getting away from the day-to-day life where you're consistently living. So, we can all get sucked into, okay, we wake up, we do this, we boom, 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 we got our routines, we go to sleep. All right, we wake up, we go to blah. So whenever you change the space, the place, and the pace, you give yourself the opportunity to potentially open up yourself to these opportunities. Because if you don't free up your mind or shift up the current routine, I truly don't believe you have enough bandwidth or room or opportunity or freedom to even allow something to come to you, whatever that looks like in your life.
So that might be, going someplace new, doing something you've not done.
Could be going to a coffee.
And instead of, I remember there were a couple times where it was just so busy in my season when I was in the corporate world. It was like I would go to the coffee shop without my phone and just sit at the coffee shop. Yeah, it was really weird by myself.
Dangerous.
And just watch people. But it helped change. It's just a practical things. Sure. So it's the space. Well, it was the same space, but it was in a different space in my head.
It was a different headspace.
It was a different headspace, a different place than sitting in my office. And then at a different pace was I didn't have a screen in front of my face.
That's right.
And so, I don't know, practical things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, calling up an old friend that you haven't talked to in a long time, just to see what's happening.
That's right.
Not to ask for anything. Not an old girlfriend, just an old friend.
I'm sure you might want to watch that. Being afraid to suck at something new.
Ooh, yeah, yeah.
Like you said, dance class with your wife, even though you can't dance, go ahead and book it and just see what's up.
Yeah, just take
Show
the one
up and
free
give
one.
it a try.
Just go for the one free one they get.
One free trial.
Become a Hutterite and find out what your job is the next day. You're the blacksmith.
Oh,
here you are.
Back to the Hutterites again.
I know. I can't leave them alone.
I didn't even know they existed until he told me about it. They're like a branch of the
Mennonites.
Yeah, and
Amish.
Amish.
Of course, because they're different.
Anabaptist type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pure communism. Like the church owns everything. You go there. They provide your food, your house, your clothing, your job.
Sounds like
that pays your rent and your bills.
Sounds great. Sounds like
I'm this close. Retirement at 50.
It sounds like, 3 squares and what's it called? 3 hots and a cot.
3 hots and a cot. They love music. They've got all these guys that play like acoustic guitar and yodel and stuff. I'm going to take all this equipment I have. I'm going to move up there. I'm going to start the first Hutterite record label.
Ooh, I might learn to yodel.
That's the only thing. That's what I was making the joke about. Because you don't.
I want a
pick your job. You don't get to pick your job.
Bless you.
Get him a tissue. They pick your job,
give me a tissue.
And they don't actually pick. Except there's a couple jobs where they pick based on qualifications. Everything else is by lot.
Whoa.
So you get whatever you get, and their whole premise is the important thing is
that in The Giver?
You should enjoy the work.
Yeah.
They're
Think about it, though.
So what if you get drawn to be like the guy who works in the metal shop? It's like the important thing is that you enjoy the work, because you're just there. You're going to figure it out.
How about all the stuff that frees you up to do? 100%. If you don't have to exhaust your life making these big decisions that affect your life.
So here's the question. Here's the question then, though. How do you set that up for your real life?
That's a good question.
So you don't have to be, so that you don't have to be tied to that system.
But it's too late for us. These things have to be instilled in kids instead of it's too late for us. It's not too late for us.
Run for the hills, boys. It's too late.
You might have said something before episode 15.
Head to the commune.
Oh, we're done.
This week, episode 15 of Change. It's too late for you. Throw in the towel, old man.
Well, now I can't even continue because I don't even know where I was. It's too late for us because I feel like we have to start that before we're forced to make the first big decision as a child. When someone asks you, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" So that's the kind of that you don't have to make that decision, and then you get to be 25 and you regret that decision. This just makes it so much easier. You don't have all that compounded making it anyway.
That's true, but yeah.
You guys threw me off track by making me laugh, so that's all right.
I shouldn't have went Hutterite. It always
it's too late.
Everything up.
It's too late.
It's too late.
Sorry.
And sane.
All right. Well, that's a good place. That's a good place.
So
that's a good place.
Are you doing? No, it's not. Wait, I got a question.
Okay. All right.
Question.
Okay. No, I'm ready.
Are you doing the dance classes?
No. Are you what?
Are you doing the dance classes?
Yes, I need to do the dance classes.
Are you doing them? Have you started the dance classes?
No.
Okay.
All right. When are you going to do it? Have you looked at a couple dance studios?
No, I'm not sure that he's asking specifically about dance.
Yeah, no, I was.
you talking about fluffing the pillow?
You mentioned it in the past at some point.
Oh, I have. Yes. Yeah. You know what? We've talked about it.
You brought it back up, so I thought it'd go.
Yeah.
Does this indicate that you've actually started? That it's gone from the chalkboard to the boardroom, so to speak?
No, it has. Yeah, that'd be fun. And that's as far as it went.
My favorite thing tonight is you guys freezing up, and you freeze up, and then all of a sudden you catch up at super speed. It's like, and then we're back to real time.
Oh no!
Yeah, I don't know.
But you know what I've noticed? It's not on the recordings. Yeah, really? I've not seen them.
Okay, well, cool. Maybe it does. Maybe it still records again.
So I don't know.
Technology.
So this is the place because I'm not taking the dance classes, but. Thanks for joining us here on the Gentlementor. Find us in the different places on the social media.
Man, I missed another one.
It's over again. And now it is.
Shoot.
You can find us, connect with us,
theme for
because we
tonight
want to
is
hear
it's
from you.
too
Let's
late for
continue the
me.
conversation. It's too late. It's too late. It's too late for all this.